For the last 3 years, between recording segments of the D6 generation, Russ, Craig, and Rafe have had various conversations that have spanned the interests of gamerdom worldwide. This is one of those conversations.
D6G, The Lost Chapters.
Well, hey, welcome back, guys. Now, actually, we're going to pull up some extra chairs here in Dunkin' Donuts.
I said extra cream.
And we're going to push some tables back, and we're going to make some room for you guys at our favorite hangout after gaming hours.
Gallant, you want a donut? Do you want?
Yeah, actually, another butternut. I've been eating those like crazy since Free Donut Friday.
Huh, butternut. Those are good.
Yeah, those are good.
It was delicious.
All right, so, we
felt like I was dealing with a drug dealer.
The first one's free, Sonny. The first one's free. So we thought it'd be kind of fun to do a little listener feedback Lost Chapter.
Oh yeah, we haven't done that.
So this is a little scary. This is a live sort of recorded now in front of a live Twitter and Facebook audience. So what we're doing is we've tweeted and Facebooked the fact that we're looking for some questions. It's a sort of a live audience Q&A. It's semi-live because we're getting information from you live, but you don't get to hear the answers until whenever this goes up in a few days. It'll probably be up on Monday, which is like 3 days from now. So
that's cool.
So I'm just going to start looking at the questions. I'm going to go back and forth from our Twitter audience to our Facebook audience and back, alternating questions. Okay. And then you guys can jump in with answers. Okay, we'll try to answer if it's all three of us. Okay, so here's the very first one.
I'm actually tweeting right now to ask people to email me questions.
Yeah, get some more. Get some more in there if you want. I don't want my email box filled, so send them Twitters to me. But all right, or to the D6 Generation, at the D6 Generation. And by the way, for those of you who aren't familiar, there's at the D6 Generation is our main Twitter feed, and then there is facebook.thed6generation.com is our Facebook page. And Rafe, what's your Twitter handle?
The D6G Hollywood.
And Craig, what's your Twitter handle?
Craig D6G, or is it D6G?
I think it's D6G Craig, and mine is at Russ Wakeland. There you go.
What does
I don't get mine? I don't like check mine. So
well, there you go.
If you send stuff to me, I don't get it.
What does pound mean when somebody's twitting something and it says pound?
those are what's called, they call that a hashtag.
What is that?
Okay, so what that is that you can search Twitter by hashtags. So let's say we were all talking about, I don't know, some hockey team kicking Canadian butt and winning the Stanley Cup. Let's say we're all talking about that.
Yeah, okay.
So you could make a hashtag and say, like, Bruins. And then you could say, oh, my God, they're ahead by 3. Are they going to win? And then someone else would do the same thing and say, I don't know, I think so. And they'll put hashtag Bruins. And then what you can do is you can do a Twitter search for all Bruins hashtags and see all the conversation about hashtags. Where it's really handy is, let's say you're trying to watch all the coverage of Gen Con. And you don't know who to follow. Well, if people are using the hashtag, # Gen Con, you'll see all the posts related to Gen Con. So that's kind of cool. So it's really handy for when there's a big event going on, like a big hockey game or Gen Con or anything else. You can follow the activity going on. It's almost like putting a little subject line in your email. That kind of thing. All right. Here's the first question. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Drum roll, please. Here we go. This is from RT Gamer. And the question is, are you happy with the directions the podcast is going? Have your numbers continued to increase? And who is the coolest?
I want to go first.
All right.
I'm the coolest.
Fair enough.
I'm happy with the direction that the podcast is going. Our numbers are increasing. I am very much still enjoying the podcast, but I am noticing that publishing and producing once a week is more exacting than I thought.
It is.
How about you guys?
Yeah. Craig, what do you think?
I am very excited about how the direction the podcast is going. I think it seems like every couple of months our reach is going even further. We know our numbers are going up, but what I mean is people are more and more people are contacting us more and more. We seem to be more integrated into the whole gaming scene, which I really, really like. And yeah, I mean, clearly Rafe is the coolest.
I would also agree that Rafe is the coolest. And I'm also happy with everything that's going. And I agree with Craig. Our numbers are growing at a consistent rate, which we're very happy about. But also, the reach thing is sort of interesting. Like, we reviewed Stronghold, the board game, a few episodes ago, and we made an error. And a lot of our fans immediately replied to us and told us about the error. And we've since then replayed the game, and actually the attackers won, so it was cool. But here's the best part. 2 days ago, the designer of the game emailed us, right, and said, by the way, that was the best audio review of Stronghold ever. Thanks so much for doing it. And by the way, did you catch this one rule was wrong? I think you'll find it goes better. And I said, that's a high praise coming from you to the designer. So I actually chatted with the designer of Stronghold Games just because he reviewed his game. That was pretty cool.
Right. Well, that was like cool. That's like when I said that I didn't like the Stars version of Camelot, and the special effects crew emailed me.
Right.
Yeah, and I definitely like the direction it's going, and it's a little egotistical, but that, like, you know, we're at the point now where we can kind of say, hey, Matt, Matt Wilson of Privateer Press Frame, and he's not necessarily glaring at us like, oh, I have to do an interview. Like, it's, I don't want to say friends necessarily, but friendly acquaintance level or something like that.
So
and that's pretty
cool.
cool.
Not only is Rafe the coolest, he's also a name dropper. There you have it. All right. So
that's why I'm cool.
Next question. Now we're going to Facebook. So the next Facebook question is from
Facebook.
John Payton. Sorry, John. With all the games I see out there based upon the same source material, Lord of the Rings, Song of Fire and Ice come to mind, it got me wondering, if you could choose one untapped literary source for a game, either board, miniature, or RPG, what would it be? That's a good question.
Interesting.
That's a good question. Craig, you're the literary dude. Why don't you start?
The literary that I...
You're also the literate dude. You're both literate and literary, so you go first.
Literary. Oh, geez. I don't know.
Yeah, he says...
I mean, I would love to see a board game that kind of like... I mean, not a board game, a miniature game that did the Honor Harrington universe justice while at the same time being visually interesting and not melting people's brains with physics and math. With just shoals of missiles and counter missiles and missile pods, and I think that would be awesome.
Cool. Yep. What do you got, Rafe? Anything?
I was about to say that all my literary dreams are satisfied, and because Vietnam is out, and I've always wanted that. And then I remembered, South Pacific. I would like to be able to play 15 millimeter.
A game version of the musical South Pacific. Bali High calls you.
Oh, dear.
It's bringing back very bad memories. Thanks, Craig. No, naval ship battles along with, naval support in the South Pacific.
You don't think there are games out there that do World War II naval battles?
No.
Really?
Made by Battlefront.
Well, that's a little more specific. Russ?
It's a tough one. There's so many cool things. I wish... it's a tough one. I'm going to go... I'm going to go with... I would like to see a co-op detective investigative game based on Harry Dresden.
Ooh.
Oh, that'd be fun.
So right
game?
now, a board game, a co-op investigative board game where there's different scenarios, so you're going after different sort of villains, but they're game driven.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So one of you can play Michael, one of you can play Harry, one of you can play the cop, that kind of thing. That'd be cool.
Right.
That's my vote. Although there is already a Dresden RPGs, so I may be cheating by picking that one because it's already got some material for it. But that's what I would pick.
All right, that's cool.
I'm going to think some more about that. I may come back to that one. Okay. What time are you recording tonight from the Rural Gamer? What time are you recording tonight? About 9:37. All right, next.
It is roughly 9:37.
Forget those silly
and
ninjas.
16 seconds.
This is from TGN Grant. So Tabletop Gaming News wants to know this. Tabletop Gaming News, your source for quality news, has this poignant and detailed question for us. Ready, Rafe? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Craig, forget those silly ninjas. Which is cooler, pirates or zombies?
Oh, that is so much better than the Pirates versus Ninja game.
Zombies are cooler.
Well, you've got to go with zombie pirates, don't you?
Zombie pirates, Curse of Black Pearl, zombie pirates. Bam, done. Easy. Right. Okay,
Thank you,
go.
Grant. That was good, though.
We'll do another one. Oh, we got to go to Facebook now. I got to give Facebook people some time here. Joel Morgan. The Facebook people are a little deeper than the Twitter people. I'm not going to lie. Here we go.
There's more space to write.
They have more characters, right? If you could be any TV show or movie, what would it be, and what would be your role? For example, Rafe as Kirk's son of Wrath of Khan, or as extra number 2 saves Kirk before he dies. So,
any movie or book that you'd like to be in?
No, it's TV show or movie, not book.
TV show or movie.
What would be your role? You got to pick it and pick your role.
Oh, I know now.
That's an easy one. Go ahead, Craig.
Okay, why don't you guys go? I got to think.
All right. Jane in Firefly. Done.
Oh, good one.
We're not Okay, I've since we talked so much about Star Trek, I have Star Trek on the brain. I would want a lawyer character on the bridge, only he does something really cool. He's not useless.
I think you're supposed to be an existing character in the plot, not adding one.
Well, that's how I interpreted it, man. So screw you.
All right, fair enough.
I would be Wash in Firefly, not Serenity.
Right.
Or if I was in Serenity, I would wear massive chest armor.
Right. I'll be in my bunk. All right, moving on. On Twitter, back to Twitter, Mephistone AG. So, Epic A, I don't know what that means. Maybe
Epic Armageddon.
Yep. Or dystopian land battles. Probably one for Craig. Go.
Epic A versus dystopian land battles. I would have to say it depends. I got more terrain. I'm going to say Epic A right now because I've got way more terrain for it. But I'm catching up on Dystopian Wars.
Dystopians is gaining. I agree.
Yeah.
I'd say Dystopian because I have more points of it than Epic.
And I've got to tell you that the models for Dystopian Wars look 1,000 times cooler than the models for Epic, mainly because those models are mostly outdated.
All right. Back to Facebook.
Well, what do you say, Russ? Was that for Craig specifically?
Well, I said
Russ said
I'd play.
Well, Russ doesn't play Epic. So.
Yeah, I don't have any Epic, so I'd play
right.
Dystopian
Yeah,
Wars because
okay.
I have the models. What about you, Craig? Or Rafe, do you have an opinion?
There you go.
Rafe,
you don't play either. So
I don't have an opinion. I love the game. I love the game designers. I'm very happy they're being successful.
Here's one we'll try to answer the best we can. But from Daniel Alexander on his Facebook, nice picture, Daniel. What are your thoughts on Dust Tactics? It's been around for a while, but I haven't heard any talk about it on the show. My brother doesn't like tabletop wargaming, but he's interested in Dust Tactics. I thought that it might be a good gateway game for wargaming. It seems like I've heard you guys say before that you didn't like AT-43. Is Dust Tactics along the same lines? Craig.
That's the board game miniature thing.
Dust
hybrid,
Tactics
right?
has the initial version has a little mat that comes with grids on it, but it's for Fantasy Flight's publishing it, and it has those actually really nice looking pre-painted models of like it's alternate history World War.
Okay, well it's
II.
easy for me because Weird War 2 doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, I like.
So
yeah, go ahead.
I mean, the models look awesome for what they are. It's exactly like I say. If you don't like lobster, you can look at an extremely well-prepared lobster and appreciate that it's well-prepared, but you're not going to like it. So
That's very true.
And that's me and Dust Tactics, and the fact that it goes when you're talking to a guy who doesn't like hex games, and you ask him why you don't like why he doesn't really like a game that's trying to be a miniature game, but it's on just like a grid, then a grid is 10 times worse than a hex game to me.
Rafe, any thoughts?
I don't really know. I think I get the two games confused with each other when I see them in the cons, and I just don't have an opinion. I'd hate to trash a game. Number one, that's not our style, and number two, that I don't know. I just don't know anything about it. I see it, but I don't know what it is, and
I think
I have
for
no
me,
opinion.
The miniatures were kind of cool. I'm not that big of an alternate history guy, although I do like Tannhauser, but that's sort of a different thing. It's a very small game, and it's a skirmish thing. Dust Tactics, I wanted to kind of like when it first came out, but some of our friends played it and were less than impressed with the rules. It was just a little simple for what we normally play, and I agree with Craig. I'd rather have a miniature game on a miniature table, and I had just come back. The AT-43 guys, it was sort of the similar rule set. I did not enjoy AT-43, so it kind of had a bad taste in my mouth from that. But that all said, I've never actually played it, so I really shouldn't review it. And it's not a review. That's just why we haven't tried.
We're just explaining why we haven't reviewed it.
It hasn't caught our interest, and as you mentioned before in episode 81, which maybe you haven't heard this yet, or 82, depending on how the space-time continuum works out. There's so many great games right now that a game has to do more than be sort of interesting. It has to really attract you from the IP you normally like, right?
Exactly.
So I don't really need another miniature war game. That's not to say I don't try new ones all the time, because I do. I mean, in the last 12 months, I probably tried at least 3 new miniature war games. It's just that this one isn't appealing enough for me, personally, based on a lot of different things. Mostly theme and the fact that it's on paper and the fact that the original rule set was AT-43 and I didn't like it that much.
Right.
So that's where we are on that. All right, back to the Twitter feed. Let's see here. Here we go. Dear D6 Generation from Newy Boys, is Hex Hex...
Oh, the Newy Boys.
Is Hex Hex really so good you need to say it twice? Yes, it is.
You tell us. You won a copy.
Right, baby. It is so good.
And hopefully they've gotten it. Matt, did you get your copy with all its signatures on it?
That was a short
I
one.
still haven't played it.
Oh, you should. It's
Still
awesome.
haven't played
I want to.
Dude, you're missing a good game. All right, that was a short Twitter one, so we'll do another one. This is from The Index. I already like that name. More games need The Index, so try to work yourself out there, Mr. Index. Have you guys done a review yet on the board game Confusion, Espionage, and Deception in the Cold War?
Are those Stronghold games?
That's the new Stronghold game. We have not.
No.
We have not. We would like to. Just haven't.
I would
around
like
to.
to.
Not seen the game.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet. Doesn't mean we won't. We just haven't got that one.
Right.
And one more from Twitter. I'll go back to Facebook. This is from Adam James Studio. Dear DC Generation, I love Carcassonne, Agricola, and Atlantis, as does Partner. What else can you suggest in a similar vein we might play together?
I love that guy.
What a nice question. So, Rafe, what do you think of that?
Power Grid, Power
Okay.
Factory. Factory Manager.
Well, if you like Agricola, you're on the right track, I think.
Dungeon Lords.
Dungeon Lord's a bit, because he likes Carcassonne and Atlantis. Well, if he likes Agricola, Dungeon Lord's about the same level, I would say. You know what I would say? Guaranteed hit. Guaranteed Small World.
Oh, yeah.
Small World is a win.
Yes,
Infinite
if you're looking
City
for a
is
different type of game,
Yeah.
but you like those games, I agree. Small World, yes.
Small World is an
I
automatic
like
win.
that recommendation.
Infinite City is similar to Carcassonne, though. It's a good game. but
Exactly.
you
Well, that's
might-
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
If you like Carcassonne and you're looking for a game that shakes it up a little bit, Infinite
Galaxy
City.
Trucker.
Another one that's very different from what you're playing now, Pandemic is a good game
Oh, yes.
for that group also.
The game we have. Oh, wait, we finally reviewed it. Did we finally review it?
Pandemic? No.
No.
The game we recommend the most I've never reviewed.
Still an enigma.
We should
to
probably
us.
do that at some point. All right.
No, I think it's become our thing.
All right. Oh, here we go. This is a Facebook one. Now Facebook's getting a little getting the fun questions again. Here we go. From Rob Rouse. What actor would play you in the D6 Generation movie? See, some people have been listening to the Actor Studio a lot.
Oh, I like
It's like a
that.
Rafe question. Rafe, this is
We should name it for each other.
okay.
I'm not good
really?
at naming actors.
I don't know actors.
I know who's going to play Rafe.
I think Craig should name all three because he's good at this sort of thing.
Rafe is going to be played by Jeff Probst from Survivor.
Oh, my. Oh, my. Yes.
Let's see.
Are you sure that can't be me? He's kind of like a rules lawyer, though. I could kind of fill that role.
I think
And he gets really angry with people when they break the rules of
right,
his
I
game.
totally be him. I could be Jeff. Ready, begin.
who's the guy that was in the
Did I say
movie
Ross?
with
I said Rafe.
Seth
You did say
Rogen?
Rafe. I know. What's
Rafe.
I think his name is Josh.
that? Yeah.
Josh Brolin?
No. But
What movie was he in?
super bad.
Super bad.
I know who I want to be played by.
The main guy from Super bad?
Yeah, yeah.
I know who I want to be played by. I would like to be played by Adam West.
Adam West.
I think that'd
Jonah
be
Hill.
perfect.
It's Jonah Hill. Russ will be
Hill.
played by Jonah Hill.
Played by the biggest pothead in Hollywood.
See, I don't think that's me. I think
Well, no,
Adam
because the guy's hair does the same thing that Russ's hair does.
really.
Right.
I think Adam West is the perfect. If you listen to Adam West on like any of the animated series he does, I think I sound like him.
Uh-huh.
So there we go. I could be Adam
No,
West.
but it's a movie. It's not a radio drama.
No, I know, but people don't see me; they hear me, so they got to kind of work on that.
Who would be Craig?
Oh, I know who it would be. for
Who?
me.
Who?
Well, you tell me first, but I know exactly who's actually going to be. Nobody. It's going to be Steve Carell. Come on. It's got to be Steve.
No.
Totally.
You would be. I would pick you to be the actor that played the limo driver in The Princess Diaries.
I have no
Wow.
idea. But all of my students say I remind them of Steve Carell.
I'm just gonna go-
And everybody knows that I look like Gru.
Let's be honest. I would be played. I would
Oh
be
yes, yes.
me.
Craig would
No.
be played by Gruel.
No, look. I'm going to pull a Nick Fury. I'm going to be played by Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh come on,
Just get this on.
that's ridiculous.
Have you heard the new book by him, by the way? Talk about memes, Craig, from your last thing.
Yes, I loved it.
Oh, it
yes.
was fantastic. Oh, my God, that was hilarious. Free on Audible.
Oh, the boop.
Go the F to sleep on Audible. Listen to it tomorrow if you haven't already. Hilarious.
It's free. Well, it's free right now. I don't
free
know
right
how
now.
All right,
much.
Craig. I want you to Google it right now. You're going to be played by Hector Elizondo.
I know who he is. Yeah, I could see that. He
Yep.
reminds me of my dad, so that makes sense.
Yep.
All right, back to Twitter. Here we go. No, that guy just was asking us. Thanks for recommending Stronghold. Glad you liked it, buddy. Good job. Here we go. Sergeant Bus. What are your thoughts, if any, on Dominant Species? That's a new board game that just came out.
Craig's title for that segment?
That was my title, actually.
That was an awesome title, Craig.
So what did you? We haven't reviewed it yet. I know of it. I kind of want to try it. It's very Euro.
I didn't even know of it until the controversy surrounding our
name of our show. So we really found out about it mostly because we named our segment Dominant Species, and everybody's all excited about it. But yeah, we don't. We haven't reviewed it yet, although I'm interested in it. So we might look at it sometime. Let's see. Okay, so back to Facebook here. What do we got over here on the Facebook side of things? Let's see. If you could only have one board game, this is the world's evilest question. If you could only have one board game, what would it be? You think we would have this down by now. So, Rafe, if you could only have one board game, what would it be?
Agricola.
Really? Mm-hmm. The rest of your life spent farming?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Rafe? Craig?
I don't know. You go.
Craig, why do they get us confused all the time?
I don't know.
I think I'd go with... I don't know. I think I normally would say. I think I would say a dungeon crawling game like Descent. Only because
Descent and all its expansions.
Yeah, because it lasts forever. It never runs out. You can do something forever with that game.
You can't have Descent and all its expansions.
Why not?
Well, because then I can have Agricola, Lahar, Factory Manager, and Power.
That's not true. Those aren't expansions to that game. I'll give you Agricola and the expansions to Agricola.
I'll give you Agricola, the upgraded meeples, and all the card deck expansions.
Yeah,
there you go. That's fair. Look, just because
it's just ludicrous to expect every Euro game ever invented because you want Agricola. That's just silly.
Right.
No, it's just those are all separate games.
Just because your favorite game doesn't have any decent expansions for it, and our favorite game's got a gajillion, doesn't mean
you too, man. Listen, they've got farmers on the moor, and you can have horses.
Yeah, I got horses in Descent too. They just kick butt. All right. Actually, I don't think I can have horses in Descent.
It's not a unicorn. It's a horse with a stabbing stick.
Right. All right. Here's another question. This is a little tough one, Rafe, so brace yourself.
Oh.
Here you go. Who would you replace Rafe with, hypothetically?
Oh, I know. I know. Who sent that in?
This would be John Nishikwaka.
Okay.
Sorry, John.
I know who it would be.
Yeah?
Angelo. He wants my spot bad.
I would say that Rafe is irreplaceable.
I would say Rafe is irreplaceable also.
I would say that the show would change dramatically without Rafe. And should he get hit by a bus, we would try to continue, but it wouldn't be the same.
It's funny you should say that because I once thought that each one of us, because, that old theory that everybody's replaceable, but I have stopped listening to The Instance because Randy Jordan is not on it anymore with Scott Johnson.
Did you email Scott and tell him, biggest mistake ever, let Randy go. I don't know what you paid him, wasn't enough.
No, but what's interesting is I like the two other hosts. They're fine. They're funny. Mm-hmm. They do their thing. They're good. It's not that they're bad. It's just I miss Randy and Scott. The synergy they had, it was unmatchable.
Yeah. All right. Here's another one on Twitter. What time are you starting? That was 9:30, buddy. You missed it earlier. Here we go. Here we go. Have you ever gotten real close to quitting the cast after something has come between the three of you? Well, that's an interesting question. Have we ever gotten close to quitting the cast because something has come between the three of us?
I want to go first.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm Random Rafe, right?
Uh-huh.
And I like to wimp out on things if I'm like, you know what, I'm going to meet Craig for dinner and something better comes along. I'm like, screw Craig. Actually, I haven't done that in years. And I've never once wanted to quit the cast.
Oh, good. I don't think, speaking for myself.
Oh, and we've gotten pretty pissed at each other too, by the way.
We've had our share of arguments. I don't think we've ever had like, we're going to break up the band argument type thing.
No.
Like,
No.
But we've had creative disagreements.
Right.
And we have to record this night or I'm going to come over and beat you in the head kind of arguments. But we've never
had those.
I don't think we've ever had I personally have never been I'm going to quit. I think we get more frustrated with Jesus. This is a lot of work sometimes, but I don't think it's ever to the point we want to quit. It's just crap, this is a lot of work.
Yeah. I've gotten mad enough like brothers would get mad, but it's never like I've gotten really mad, but I haven't wanted to quit. I've just been mad.
Right.
And we've worked out our differences, too.
And now it's all better for today. But tomorrow, who knows? We can be mad again.
What about you, Craig?
I am the peacemaker. I am the glue that binds the podcast together. I am the guru that all people come to for clarity and clairvoyance.
He's the one we both get pissed at. That's which that works.
I'm the guy who uses big words and then people get angry at him.
Come on.
All right.
Tell the
No,
truth.
I mean, I've been, I don't even think you can actually say angry with you two. I've been annoyed.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been
I
angry.
think we've known each other long enough that that issue. It's not like we're a bunch of guys.
Things
who
that, like, for instance, if you were like, hey, I'm going to grab two guys from the local game store and start a podcast. We've known each other for 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, I can guarantee you a lot more is going to anger you than would anger the three of us.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas we know we are confident and comfortable enough in our friendship that, for me anyway, what would be like if it was a guy I knew for 2 years, I would be like, forget you, I am gone. Whereas I'm like, oh, it's Russ.
It's like,
it's random race.
This isn't as bad as that time back in '96.
Yeah, I feel that too. That same comfortableness
Right.
that even at my angriest, I'm not ever worried about it to that
All right.
level. Yeah.
Here's one.
Yeah.
Here, back to Facebook now. This is a good one. This is
What
more of
about
a-
you, Russ?
I said I said I think I get frustrated but never angry.
Oh,
and I've never been mad. It's never been the only reason I've ever felt it's hard is not because of who I'm working with. It's because it's just the amount of effort in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Jay Arnold on Facebook, do you tend to prefer newer GW models, say post 2000 or third edition 40K, or older GW models, say pre 2000 RT and second edition? Not sure what edition was when for fantasy. Me, I like the older models. They had more character back then. What do you think, Craig? You're the big GW fanboy.
A, no, and B, the newer models.
Newer
Hands
models.
down. If you look at the
I
new
agree.
Eldar,
I agree, dude. Yeah,
you look at the new Dark Eldar.
Oh yeah, the new plastics. You kidding me?
Any of the new plastics. Look at the new.
First of all, as an
the
orc
new Grey
player-
Knights and the old Grey Knights look really nice side by
Look
side.
at this. Do you have a Rogue Trader era? Someone. Okay, Jay. Here's the deal. Go get your Rogue Trader era orc truck, which was slightly larger than a ballpoint pen, and
They
then go
actually
look
didn't
at.
make one back then.
Well, they had
didn't
that little
make a
half
truck till
track.
They did Gorka Morka.
No, that's true. But there was this little lead even before pewter lead orc bike half track thing.
Oh yeah.
Right, and it was the size maybe of a tape measure, right?
Right.
And
If that.
I mean half a tape measure. Then they came out with the Gorka Morka trucks, which I remember thinking these are awesome. But if you compare a Gorka Morka truck now to like the current orc truck, I mean, come on.
Right.
Come on, I'm not the world's biggest GW fanboy, but I'm here to tell you the GW models still kick butt. They still make the best plastics on the planet. You pay for them, but they're still the best.
Right.
I think they
And
make
the
the
same
best
thing
models.
goes for the fantasy, though. I mean, if
Yes.
you look at the original.
Oh, the new
Bretonians-
Skaven. Have you seen the Skaven that came out a couple months ago,
Yeah.
whatever? The giant things they have, the new Doom wheel. That was actually last summer, I guess. But
And
the
when
Skaven's
people
awesome.
say that they like the characterful older models, to me, I don't hear characterful. I hear cartoonish because that's what those older
well, it's a different
models
style,
look
so
like.
maybe you like
Yeah,
that better.
yeah, yep.
Oh, and the other thing to check out is the new Tomb Kings. Did you see the new Tomb King book?
Yes.
Hardcover, full color, and then they had
Now
all the
that's
cool.
now
yeah.
to me the army books going to hardcover was kind of like because I used to pick up the army books on a regular basis, even though I don't play anymore because I like the army books.
But don't they really release them both ways, like Privateer Press does? See how he did that? See how he did that, folks?
I know
See how
that
he
I've
did
seen.
It's too
I don't
bad.
know that I've seen them in paperback.
I
don't think
I thought they
do
did
both.
both,
But they
but-
might. I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
I don't know. I'm just saying my company, Privateer Press, they release them both styles. I'm just saying.
Oh, for the love
Just saying, my boys. Seattle, peace out. All right.
You didn't ask me.
Rafe, what do you think?
Newer.
Okay.
Move on.
Thank you for chiming in there. All right, back to the tweet peeps. Here we go. Let's see here. Okay. What do you think the best things are from Wraith? Oh, look, there you go. So here's one. Here's one from the new Privateer Press book, Privateer Press question. So what do you think, Rafe? What do you think the best things are from the new Privateer Press War Machine expansion?
I haven't seen it.
It comes out this week, actually. It's waiting for me at Miri Games. I got to go pick mine up.
I got to go pick it up.
For me personally, though, I know there's a lot of new stuff in there. It's still the battle engines. The battle engines just add a totally new aspect to the game, and models of that size are fun to paint. I've always been a huge vehicle treadhead, large
Yes,
model
you
guy.
have, yeah.
So
I'm a
to
little
have
behind
this,
on my War Machine gooey goodness.
yeah, so to have this for War Machine now is just cool. A giant walker is also cool. So for me, it's great. I'm actually a little jealous. I love the gun carriage for Khador, too. I'd love to have that.
Yeah, that thing's
I'm a
awesome.
Signar
You
player,
know it.
so. But yeah, that's my favorite part of the Craig, what do you think? Anything in...
No, I gotta say, all those the big giant war engines, to me, it's a step in the wrong direction for those models.
Interesting.
But that's what everybody likes. I mean, you guys who like it aren't bothered by the stuff that bothers me about their model
That's
range.
right,
So
yep.
obviously they're going towards their strengths. But to me, it goes more in the direction of that wacky, crazy, anime, unrealistic looking stuff rather than giving it. For a while it looked like their stuff was going into a more gritty, realistic look, and then they kind of went back to giant shoulder pads to put GW to shame. And
no, they're definitely anime look, and I like that about them. But you're right, it's not realistic.
Right. Well, no, and like I said, that is something I think that a lot of, or all of, or most of their fans appreciate and enjoy. So they're definitely going to their strengths. But to me, it's like they look at those, and I'm like, ugh, those are ugly.
All right, here's one from Facebook. James Newton. Was that a fig, Newton? James. How would you change the show if you had unlimited resources? Craig.
If we had unlimited resources, how would we change the show?
That's easy. I know what I would do.
Well, if we had truly unlimited resources, we would bend time and space so that we recorded it in a time bubble that didn't take any time away from anything else we wanted to do.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I've got one.
Yep.
Okay, unlimited resources. Wormhole to our custom D6G studio that has reclining leather chairs and the microphones that come down and hang from the ceiling with,
in a big glass booth.
In like 36-inch screen monitors. We each have our own station. And there's a fridge filled with all of our favorite beverages, iced coffee, and unlimited pizza.
Ooh.
That's pretty interesting. I don't think I'd go that crazy. I think I would just take my unlimited resources. I would set up the situation so that none of us would have to work. This could be our full-time job. And then I would set it up so that we could attend all the cons we need and go to all the companies and interview folks and cover everything and test games. And it would just be basically, this would be our job, so we'd have the extra time because when we weren't working 8 hours a day on the podcast, we then have time to go spend time with our families.
That's true.
So, and then the show would be better, and we'd have plenty of time to do everything. That's what I would do.
Although I do have to admit that when I'm up, Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire is it's the largest lake in New Hampshire and one of the largest lakes in the country.
The Loch Ness Monster's in there.
It's not. And it's a very large lake, but it's full of islands, so you're never really away from shore or anything. But it's got amazing houses all over the lake. And whenever I'm up there with my parents and tootling around on their boat, I look at these giant houses and I think, like, on so many of the houses, they have turrets and towers, and I look at some of these turrets and I think, you know what would be awesome is if one of those turrets at the very top, it's got panoramic glass all the way around. If that was our
the studio. Well, see, that's unlimited resources, so we'll buy a lake house on Winnipesaukee.
There you go. They only cost like $12 million.
Right. So
see, that would be cool.
Everyone just go push the donate button once.
That's right. If all of you do it about 1,000 times,
right,
then we could probably get one of those houses.
That would be awesome, though. I would just, because I think the show would be, if we had the time. The big problem is that the show is obviously still a hobby, and that is what makes it so we can't do as much with it as we'd like. But we still,
well, and we're at what I consider an unenviable point right now, where we can do. I think we've gotten good with our organizational skills, thanks in no small part to Russ. That we almost look like it's a professional, other than the fact that we only do it, only come out every other week. But like, I think a lot of people anticipate that we have more capability behind us than we do.
Right.
So like, oh, well, how come you're not going there? How come you're not doing this? How come you haven't done these 3 games? And you're like, we're 3 guys,
right.
Doing this as a hobby.
Families, right? Exactly.
And I understand that on some level it can't be a hobby anymore because people literally are depending on us for their businesses. If we like or don't like something, it's not going to make or break anybody's business, but it can definitely be a boost.
Right.
So I think people take us more seriously than we take ourselves sometimes, some people, but it's still a hobby.
Okay. Let's see here. We're back to Twitter.
Man, Dunkin' Donuts is crowded tonight.
I know, right? Let's see here. Top 3 full retail console games for D6G gamers.
That's you two.
Top 3 downloaded console games for D6G gamers. Wow, okay. That's a pretty big question there. Rafe, what do you got?
All right. I've got, like, in the past year?
I just think he says overall.
All right. Well, L.A. Noire.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Alan Wake.
That's a good one.
I still like Rainbow Six Vegas, but I don't play it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And downloaded games, I don't know, so Latro.
All right. I would say Mass Effect. I think Mass Effect's fantastic. I also would agree. L.A. Noire is good if you like that sort of thing. Really impressive. Really blew me away. And I think that anything on the Kinect that you enjoy is fun. 'Cause Kinect is really a unique experience, so I put that in there too. Downloadable games, just so many good ones. What am I playing a lot of? I'm trying to think. Jeez, there's so many good ones on the downloads. It's hard to say. I can't think of an answer off the top of my head right now. Unfortunately, it's a lame answer. I'm sorry. So Drake, Pole Dragon, that's all I got at the moment. Spooky Vias. Hey, Spooky. Here's one.
Hey, Spooky.
Do you think that recent samples of gamer culture on TV, i.e. the WoW references, the D&D community episodes, D&D in the community episode, remember Community, the show, is a fluke or is it Geek Spring?
All right, run that by me again. What's he want to know?
With Muslim Spring.
So, do you think that recent examples of gamer culture on TV, such as the WoW references and the D&D references in the community episodes, there's a show called The Community. I don't know if you know that. And they did a D&D episode where they actually played D&D on the show.
Okay.
Is it a fluke or is it Geek Spring?
Geek Spring.
I don't think it's extensive enough to be called Geek Spring in today's global cultural reference. But I don't think it's a fluke. I think you'll see it slowly build more and more. Maybe it's the first green shoots of spring.
Yeah, I think there's definitely in the post-internet era, there's definitely a positive spin on the geek title that wasn't there before. And I think it's used a lot. Like if you look at the wild success of Big Bang Theory, which is really a show about geeks. I mean, that's all it really is, and it's very successful. And then things like the Community, where they have they do like a geek episode every other episode. I think it's definitely growing, and I think there's something to be said for that. You also have the other thing that's happening is you have these great, wildly successful internet series like The Guild that are actually making money. That are about geek topics made by geeks for geeks, and I think people are seeing that, and it's becoming more and more prevalent. So.
As a matter of fact, not only that, but I think that it's not even for gamer geeks. I think web series in general. I heard something about Lisa Kudrow has a successful web series that's like so successful it's moving to TV.
Series. Yeah, there's lots of web series that are doing well.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have things like
which I think is a type of geek chic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Sure.
Okay, here we go. From Boyd Irish, if you could play one tabletop war game. Oh, this is an interesting question. Okay. If you could play one tabletop war game, such as Flames of War, 40K, or Dystopian Wars, and you had to win your matchup, let's just say the fate of Gamer World is at stake here, what system would you play, and what force would you run?
Easy.
So it's a mission-critical game. It's game time. You got to pick a game system and a faction.
I got it.
What are you going to roll with?
Dystopian Wars, I'm going to take the Prussians.
Even though you don't own a Prussian fleet?
I don't own a Prussian fleet, and that one of the main reasons I don't own a Prussian fleet is because I think it's the point-and-click fleet for...
dude, I dropped them like bad habits, dude. You kidding me? The Japs should take them down.
Yeah,
come on
you
now.
drop them like bad habits when they're taking fleets that are like, well, I want to be more of a challenge. I don't think you drop Prussian fleets. When Jeremy takes a fleet to beat you, I don't think you beat him.
Okay. We'll try that.
I'm telling you, man.
Still owe that big game. But I wouldn't pick that anyway. But go ahead. Rafe, what would you pick?
War Machine, Khador.
All right.
Really? What's your win ratio on Khador? I'm not liking
Actually,
the odds.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good at
culture
Khador.
of surviving, if that's the case.
He's pretty good.
Oh,
at
well,
Khador.
way better than any other game.
Oh.
Actually, now that I think about it, I actually win more with Circle of Oberos.
You do actually win more with Circle.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Let's see. Well, here's all the deep analytical thought that goes into this for me. Okay, if it's going to be super competitive, I got it because I like Dystopian Wars a lot, and I'm actually pretty good with my Blazing Suns.
You are,
but Dystopian Wars rule set, I like it, but in a competitive setting, I'm not so sure how good the Dystopian Wars is in like a pure. I don't think I'd want to be in a Dystopian Wars tournament. I like it more of a storytelling setting. So I think I'm nervous about that. So I want to play a game where I'm really confident about the rules. I'm confident I'm not going to get any rules sprung on me, and so that game would have to be War Machine for me. And I'm not the world's best War Machine player by any means. So hopefully my opponent is not like the best War Machine player ever. But since I'm going to throw this out there again, since I've never been defeated by Norbert, I think I can say reasonably well I can do okay. So I would pick my War Machine with my Signar because that's the faction I know best in War Machine, and War Machine is the game I currently know the best in terms of rules.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's what I would pick. All right, that was that question. We got time for one more maybe here. Let's see what we got on the Twitter feed here.
That big guy behind the counter is starting to look angry at our big
Let's
mob.
see here. Let's see what we got here. Maybe two. Let's see. We got about 5 minutes left to see. Oh, here's a good one.
Okay, yeah.
You'd think he'd realize he's not cleaning that counter by wiping it with a dirty rag.
Don't put my donut on that counter. You know what's been? Do you think, this is from Greg FL, do you think Spartan Games can maintain 3 game systems and release Firestorm Invasion or suffer even further delays? Bum, bum, bum.
Dun, 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 dun.
Craig?
It's interesting you should say that. Spartan Games has recently hired a whole raft of new people, and they're in the process of moving to a much larger, more extensive building.
They just overhauled their website, too. Brand new website.
Yeah. I think you'll notice if you look at their releases over the last month and how everything is turning out, they've got some people at some critical levels that you need in a larger company. Some organizational positions have been filled recently that I think you'll see impacting already you've seen it impacting the release of the land forces actually released 2 weeks earlier than anticipated.
Yes, I remember that was cool.
Yeah, and I think you'll see that trend continuing. As far as introducing new games goes, I think there are enough factors that go into releasing an entire new game system that's not quite as I don't think they will release a new game system until they can support everything to the full extent that they want to.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So you think they're getting better about that, and even though they're reaching for more, they're also planning better and getting the right resources in place so that they will not suffer the same problems they had in the past.
Correct. I that's one thing that we've always said about Spartan Games is that every step they take is a firmer, more confident step than the one before.
I'd agree with that. I think that.
I have an answer.
Yeah, go ahead, Rafe.
I also trust Neil's instincts and his ability to adapt. He's a historical gamer, miniature gamer from long ago. He's got his journalistic skills. So, yeah, I think he's going to roll with the punches, adapt, and continue to grow. Even if it were to mean he was like, oh, I'm getting a little overextended, I'm going to slow this down, or whatever he would need to do.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As far as like Firestorm Invasion and that other games go, that might slow down rather than overextend the company.
Right. Well, they're going to kick us out of Dunks now. So,
see, he's angry. That guy is.
He is. Well, we were picking on his
stink eye.
We were picking on his counter cleaning services. So I'm not going to. Well, thanks everyone for the great questions. That was a lot of fun, and hopefully, let us know what you thought of this, and maybe we'll do it again in the future sometime after.
Let us know, good or ill, because that will determine whether we do this again in the future. Because
hopefully, as you're seeing, we use a lot of your feedback to inform what goes into Lost Chapters, because we know that the folks that listen to the Lost Chapters are our most devout listeners.
That's right. And you guys are the hardcore elite.
You're the people who make the show possible. So we want to make sure we kind of look for what you guys are wanting to listen to and focus on what you're asking for. So that's what we do. That's how we do.
That's how we roll with the D6 generation.
So I'm out of here with my Butter Crunch donut.
Oh, you took the last one, you jerk.
See ya.
Thanks for purchasing a D6G Lost Chapter. Supporting the show helps it grow.
Oh, God.
I can just picture Nicole being like, well, honey, it's making that noise again. No, dear. It's only because it's not focused. It's only because it's not focused. Okay, take your mouse button.
Are you guys done?
It's still doing it.
Are you guys done? Let me know when you're ready, because anytime tonight, I like to get the recording done before midnight.
Why? You have to be up
1 a.m.
1.
I only have to 1, so let's finish this up.
You're up till 1, so who cares?
All right.
It's only Craig that matters.
Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way now. It may do. Do not panic.
Oh, I don't think panic is what I'm thinking.
Now, I just closed the stupid Uncharted Seas thing. It's not going to do it after I click play. All right, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to start with playing Uncharted Seas. We got to be quiet. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2,